Good morning and happy New Year 2022 to you. Today's December 31st. It's fun to be at home and have a day off today. So I have a chance to play around with Townstar some more. And hopefully this will be a quicker than normal video. I just want to share some of the things I have learned playing with mines for the first time. Okay. This is not a complete lesson on mines, but just some of the things that I've encountered. You see there, I just finished a logger house. And the problem I'm having right now, just in general, well, let's talk about start with the mines. So over here I have 3 mines on the left side, and I have another mountain over here with 4 mines. So what is a mine? When you click on it, you can see it right now. I'm mining iron. There are 2 other things you can mine, and I haven't tried those yet. Um, Chromium and or chrome and I forget what the other one is. Not lithium, but something like that. There's the old auto script selling my extra batteries. So right now I'm making more than enough batteries because the energies because these mines need a lot of energy. And like here, I have a power plant here, so that should be feeding at least these 2 mines, and then this power plant should be feeding those 2. Over here, I guess really the only place I'm using batteries for the mines is right here. So maybe I don't need as many batteries as I thought. So what's happening is I've got one of my power plants actually down here making the batteries or the energies, and then they're filling up the warehouse, and then the auto sell script is set to sell when I get more than, like, I guess I say keep 30 batteries. So if I get up to 40 batteries, it sells 10 of them. And you don't make hardly any money when you're selling those, but it's just to keep my warehouses from filling up. And I talked about that in another video called the advanced use of auto sell script. So again, look at the mine over here. What are the requirements? I need 3 lumber, 3 energy, and 2 water drums. I'm always happy in the game when I get my water pumps built, and I think, okay, good, I don't need any more water facilities. But guess what? I watched a video the other day, just a sec. I had to pull that video up. It's by a lady called Crystal Swagger Stick. And she has some good videos, but they're from a few months ago about Townstar, and she had one on sand mines. And she said that you got to be careful about not having the water too close. Like, I can't remember if it was a water pump or maybe the ponds. If they're too close to the mines can get flooded, and I assume that slows them down. So just like all your other items on the board, you want to make sure that they're producing at a fast rate. Like, see, that one's in the yellow mode. I don't know why it's not green. So I think that may be what she was talking about is, just like everything else, you want your mines to be green if possible. That mine is kind of hidden by my logger house. The logger house has higher roof. Twirl it around a little here. Okay. Until it starts producing, I can't tell what color it's going to be. I don't know why I always get this searching for connection. Do you guys get that when you're playing? I mean, I have pretty high quality internet here at home. One's not producing yet. So that one's there. A lot of them are waiting on lumber. That one's waiting on the energy or battery right now. So lots of times they're just waiting on stuff to be delivered. And so the biggest shortage in my game right now is lumber. If you look over here at my inventory, see there just came a lumber in, and it'll be gone in just a second. And you can see my wood is the same way. As soon as the wood goes in, it goes out. So I'd like to have a little extra lumber, a little extra wood. And so you can see I seem to have plenty of trees, but they're not being harvested fast enough. So, in a perfect world, the loggers would get the trees as soon as they have been grown. But you can see probably here how many logger houses I have. I mean, there's some here, one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, 1, 2, 3, and another one, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. All the way down here. Those are all logger houses. Now, I'm slowly upgrading them to the advanced logger house, the $250,000 one, which is called the logger house, where the first one is just called a lumberjack house. Okay, so the logger is faster, of course. And I have the money to build them, but the problem is every time I take one of these down to put one of those up, I need wood and lumber to build the logger house. And so it's like a catch-22. That's why I need the logger house, is so I can get more wood and lumber. So what I do when I want to build a new logger house, I have to temporarily shut off one of my 4 lumber mills, and then a little bit of wood will start to pile up, and then they can get the 5 wood they need. But as far as getting the lumber they need, they just have to compete with everybody else that's wanting the lumber right now, which is these 7 different mines that I have. The other way I could do it, if I want the logger houses to be built faster, I could just shut off a few of my mines and then get my loggers done. And maybe that's what I need to do. Back to the water facilities, I was totally out of water. I think I built 4, and then I ended up with way too much water. So I think right now 2 is actually plenty. I think I got one of these in sleep mode, don't I? No, they're all active right now. I'm going to turn this water facility off because right now I do have 27 barrels of water or drums of water. Not that that matters much. I could actually delete that water facility if we don't need it. I'm still running 3 windmills just because that gives me some batteries faster. I'm not sure I need those since I have this power plant creating the batteries. I probably don't. That's something I'll tune next. Like I told, like I mentioned in my video the other day, there's different phases of the game. Yesterday, I was kind of in the phase where I paved like these major roads over here. I got them all to be paved where there's a lot of traffic. Like there's not a lot of traffic up here. Just the crude oil and the loggers use those roads, and there's no products usually traveling on them. So I didn't pave those yet. And that takes a lot of wood too. So if you pave 10 roads, that means you need 30 pieces of wood, right? Or if you do 20 roads, you need 60 wood. So when you have a wood shortage, it's actually hard to even do that. Slowly, yet last night and today, I mean, I'm not doing this full time right now and I'm not competing, but I just slowly started converting a few a few lumberjack houses to logger houses. And this morning I built like 5 or 6 or 7 more lumberjack houses, just trying to speed up this wood process. Like I was thinking about putting a power plant down here, but I think right now I need the wood more than I need that. What comes out of the mine? So again, when you mine something, there's 3 options. Like this one right here, I can shut him off. I'm gonna say craft stop. Well, actually, I don't have to say stop. This is where you can see iron, chromium, and limestone. And I'll have to figure out later what chromium and limestone are used for. But you can see it takes 3 lumber, 3 energy, and 2 water drums. And this is what I have right now. I have 3 of my 3 energy coming mostly from that power plant, I think. And I only have 1 out of 2 water drums. And it's going to produce iron, which is this little symbol here. So if you look at my inventory over here, you see I have 12 iron. Now, where does that iron go? So it goes into this steel mill down here. See, it says smelting steel. And when it's smelting, I don't think I can hit the craft. Yeah, I can. Okay. So there's 2 things you can make, steel and blue steel. And so right now, 10 iron go in, 5 energy, and 5 water drums. And this guy, I think, is getting his energy by 2 power plants. I built this power plant really for the steel mill, but also for the lumber yards here. And then later, I went ahead and built another power plant over here. So I think those 2 are providing the 5 energies he needs. And then, like I said, this power plant is helping the mines over here as well. But every power plant, unfortunately, you have to build a water pump on a pond to support it. So it's really like 3 spots on your board. Now, so what that does, it creates steel, and that's that little, looks like an iron beam bar there. And if we look at the truck and say how much is that worth, you click on the steel bar here. Oh, first of all, what is iron worth? Iron by itself is 46,000. So I was thinking the other day, could you use that for a fast start? But the problem is your iron mines require lumber. And so you have to have a lumber mill built before you could start your mines up. So you couldn't use it really in phase 1 of the game, unfortunately. Or phase 1 or 2, the one I talked about where you're trying to do your fast start. Okay. Then the next product here we have to look at, the sell button again, is so that's 46,000 for the iron. The steel is 470,000. This is something I'm going to probably think about and do another spreadsheet on in the future. I was noticing this when I was doing cakes way back when I first started Townstar. I would think that the steel would be worth a lot more than the iron because look what has to go into making 1 bar of steel. It's 10 irons. So you'd think it would be worth a lot more than 10 times the price of an iron. But again, if we look at the price over here, when we click the truck sell button, So iron is 46,000 and steel, if it was 10 times that, it would be 460,000, right? But it's only 470,000. So that means you're really only getting $10,000 extra by selling your steel. And you've also invested your batteries, your water pumps, or your water for it, your time, and whatever else it takes to run it. So to me, that's disappointing. It seems like the steel would be like 1.5 times 10 times iron or something like that. Same thing with cakes. It's like the cakes are barely worth more than the cost of your ingredients. But when you get to the end point of the game like this, again, it's good to sell fewer things because then you're not using as much gas, right? If you sell higher price items, you're not running your truck as often. And if I was like selling my iron, the truck would be buzzing a lot more often. Now, the last thing I will probably try to do later is, if you look at the craft button again, you can do blue steel. But surprise, surprise, blue steel requires one uniform, which is kind of surprising. I think it's like that weird. I guess the workers have to wear a uniform to make the steel so they don't burn their skin or something. So guess what? To make uniforms, I would have to have a fabric plant. And then to do a fabric plant, I would have to probably switch it back and forth between cotton yarn, wool yarn, and uniforms. Okay, because you need both of those to make a uniform. You need cotton yarn and wool yarn, and I think energy for batteries. So I could put a fabric plant right here. But guess what? How am I going to get cotton yarn and wool yarn? I started out by doing milk, right? So what I'm going to do is replace every one of my milk barns with a sheep pen. And of course, the sheep pens create wool. And the wool itself doesn't sell for as much. So, like right now, this milk has been my cash cow that's kept my game alive. So I think what I want to do first is convert more of my logger houses just like I am and let the milk barns just keep selling it. Because when I start making wool, I'm not going to sell the wool. I'm going to send it over to the fabric factory, right? The fabric plant. And I'm going to make yarn. And then the yarn is going to go into the uniforms. And then the uniform is going to go into the blue steel. And the blue steel will sell for a little bit more money. So if you want to know what that is, you just go do a little Google here. I search for Townstar Blue Steel. There are 2 or 3 websites that will list this information. One of them has it in like a spreadsheet format. This is a good one, learntownstar.com. And the other one I think is called Townstar Guide or something like that. One of these sites was offline the other day because I think it was getting close to the end of the month and they'd used up their bandwidth. This is their page. I'm going to scroll down. Very nice chart, actually. They've kind of done a hierarchical chart. That's pretty cool of what you need to make steel, blue steel. So you need 5 steels, 10 energies, and 1 uniform. But to make a uniform, you need 3 cotton, 1 energy, and 1 wool. To make a wool, wool yarn, you need wool, lumber, and energy. To make lumber, you need wood, energy, water, so on. And then to make cotton yarn, you need cotton and energy. And we've already making our steel, so I've already got all this taken care of. But that's a pretty nice little hierarchical chart. Now, there is an item called a nuclear power plant. You need $10 million for it, though. If I just let my game run a few days as it is now, I could probably generate the 10 million. But I'm still not sure actually how much power it creates. And, I think maybe it's like 5 energies to the squares around it, and then 4, then 3, then 2, then 1, something like that. But this guy's not telling me how much the blue steel sells for. How could he omit the big factor like that? Now here you can see other people and their setups for blue steel. I'm not saying my layout is good. I'm saying really what I did is I just built a milk barn starter to get my city sustainable. And then I thought I would quote unquote have fun by learning something new about the game. And for me, I've never done the mines before. So I thought, let's do it. So once you have a mine, then you build steel. And then once you have steel, you think, well, why not? I might as well go for the blue steel. Here we look at the Townstar Guide, the unofficial Townstar Guide. Yep, that's the one. The bandwidth limit is exceeded. That means they have like a certain hosting plan, and they've got so many people going to their website. Their website is down, and then usually on the first day of the month, it'll reset. We can try this one. Once you're in your game, you can see how much something sells for once you have one of them. But if you don't even have one, you have to go to like some website or some other resource to figure out what they sell for. There we go. So Blue Steel, one of them sells for $309,000. And you can't sell, of course, one by itself. You have to sell 10 of them. So that means I would need to make 10 uniforms plus a whole lot of regular steel. And there, five steel, 20 energies, and one uniform. Okay. So that's what I'm going to work on next. And again, I just wanted to share you what I've been learning so you can learn with me if you want. And since tomorrow is New Year's Day, why don't you let me know in the comments below if you have any New Year's resolutions, what you're going to accomplish in 2022, and let me know if any of them are related to Townstar or Gala Games. How you plan to make your Townstar game better, or you plan to try some of the other Gala games when they come out in 2022? Are you into Miranda's or Spider Tanks, for example? Like to know. Leave me a comment. Thanks. Talk to you later.